If you want to stay in the same situation, then continue doing what you're doing.
And you guys can get on board and go down this 4-lane highway and just rock it out, and you don't have to have a decade of learning process.
Meet people where they are. If you want to have all types of clients, be a Rubik's Cube. Meet them where they want to be met.
We have to know our numbers. We have to know how much we want, and then how many deals do I have to close to make that a reality?
What I want to do over the next half hour or so is give you clarity on the items that really are going to generate money for you and allow you to do the things you want to do. So
if you're not currently being coached by the people in the industry that are doing it at the highest level, then you're working too hard to get there.
This is the Next Level Loan Officers Podcast with Kenneth Travis and Sean Zalmanoff.
Hello, everybody. Sean Zalmanoff here with Janell Schmittling, and welcome you to our Next Level Loan Officers Podcast. Janell, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So I was just telling Janell, she's in pretty elite company. She is only the second individual to be featured on our podcast for the second time. So we appreciate you, Janell.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That must mean you're doing some pretty big things. Tell us, well, first of all, just to catch everybody up, if you don't remember Janell, well, you should go back and listen to our first podcast with her. But Janell, you were licensed in 2008. 5 years ago, really became a full-time realtor, and your business kind of doubled and doubled and doubled again. And now 5 years later, you've got a big, exciting announcement to share with the world. What's happened?
Yeah, so about 2 weeks ago, I opened up my own brokerage. It's just a small local brokerage in O'Fallon, Illinois. So I am no longer at RE/MAX. I opened up a brokerage called Homes By Janell.
So tell us a little about the impetus behind that. I know you had, before we got on, you were saying a bunch of fantastic things about RE/MAX and your time there, and that the wonderful things it did for your career.
Right.
But why Homes By Janell now?
Yeah, I loved RE/MAX. My business actually it took off there. But I think from the last podcast when we talked, I told you how I work by referral. Mainly about 90% of my business comes by referral. And so as my business continued to grow, I just started to have a vision for things that I wanted to be able to do with my clients. I do a lot of events, and so I wanted to have a place where really my clients, who have kind of became family to me, can come into a place that feels more homey, and we can hold events here, and it just be me and my team, and we can love on our clients. So I have nothing bad to say about RE/MAX. I loved it there, so we left on good terms. So
you said something that anybody in the sales world, but especially those of us in mortgage and real estate, can learn from, and something that we talk about inside of Next Level all the time is loving on your clients.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you do and how that's impacted your business.
Well, I think for me and my whole team, the way that we run our business is that when you work with us, you're a client for life, basically. So, we do not close on homes and then not talk to our clients anymore. So we have a client appreciation program, and we do several events throughout the year. And really our events are because, everybody gets busy. It's hard to, schedule lunches, dinners, with clients that have became friends, almost family. And so we do events so that we can keep in touch with everyone throughout the year, stay in touch with people's kids, and also give back to them, because a lot of our clients, they support us, they give us referrals. So our events are a way of saying thank you to them and giving them, a little bit something special. But really, throughout the year, once we close with people, we are calling them to make sure that, they don't need any names of contractors, or, just kind of checking in to see how they're doing in their new home. And then really a lot of our clients, we just become really good friends with.
Awesome.
Actually, the last event, we just did an event for Thanksgiving. We did a pie party, I call it. And we gave out free pies, and we also had a food truck there, and everyone got a free family photo from a professional photographer. And we had some crafts and food for the kids. But I was actually really amazed, because the longer I've been doing events, a lot of my clients have become friends with people just through my events. So it really does kind of become a family, and I think that's pretty cool. We had over 130 families at our last event, so it was pretty big.
130 families at your last event?
Yeah. It was pretty big, and I mean, that was the part that was cool, though. It was hard to talk to everyone, when everyone was there at the same time. But a lot of those people I became friends with, people through my events. And so I think that's kind of fun.
Well, and just what the power that creates when you create other friendships, and they're constantly reminded that they met because of you, and
absolutely.
And then you just get more referrals that way. So tell me about some other events that you've done and the success. I mean, that is that's amazing.
Yeah, I've done several events. My two big ones that I do are the pie party, and then I also do a pool party in August. So I rent out a pool or the community pool, and we have food. And that event, I usually get some of my sponsors, or not sponsors, preferred business partners to donate, some really good giveaways, and we do door prizes. And one of the last events, I even did awards. So I gave out some awards for just some fun things, like, I picked out I can't remember what I called it, but like for longevity, like the client that looked at the most homes, that year, and or a repeat client, the one that had, bought or sold with me, 5 or 6 times. So I did some fun awards and just had the pool open, and everybody brought their kids, and we swam and had food, and it was a good time. So those are my two big events, the pie party and the pool party. But then I do a lot of smaller events throughout the year. I've done just women's events with some of my, top women that I'm really close to and that refer to me a lot. So we've done painting events, wine night. We've done a St. Patrick's Day event. I've done bowling events with my clients. We do a Valentine's little event where people can come in and bring their kids and get a cupcake and decorate a card for their parents. So we do a lot of events and try to have fun with our clients.
So if somebody just heard all that and they're thinking Valentine's events, or like, there's no way I'm getting 100 people at a pie event or 100 people at a pool party.
Yeah.
What would you tell a loan officer or realtor listening to this, that, hey, if you're going to start somewhere, this is what you should, because I'm sure that 5 years ago when you really decided that this was where you were heading and there was no looking back, you didn't start doing 10 events a year. You started with 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first event I held. I was really nervous about it. I was worried if nobody comes, how's that going to look? Or, but I think you remember from the last time we talked, I do have a business coach. And so she would always tell me that, whoever comes, that's who's meant to come. And so you just move forward with it and do the best that you can. I think it's really important for your events that you're, sending out like a save the date, and then sending out invites, and then also calling them to remind them about the event, and then calling and texting them the week of the event to remind them, because people are busy, and the more effort that you put into it, the more that, you'll get a better response. But like my first event that I did, I think my first pie party, I probably only had 30 families. But I felt like that year, it still to me meant so much, because those were the 30 families that really had shown me a lot of support that year. And then it's just kind of grown from there. And every year I get more people. And I also think that now people know how I run my business, so they get why I do events. They know this is just something that I do for my clients, so they feel more comfortable coming around. Like I said, and a lot of these people now, they've been with me for so long, they kind of are family to me. But I tell people all the time, like, you don't have to start big. You have to start somewhere, and then those people will be the ones that are, your clients that will probably stay with you for life, and you continue to love on them and bring in more people as you go.
I think that reminds me of I think it's Zig Ziglar, but a quote that says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yes, I love that quote.
Yeah. It's funny when you were talking, or not funny, but just you were speaking of, you got to send out reminders. You have to be in front of them. Like, you can't just announce something on Facebook. And, miraculously inside of all of our data and our Mortgage Success Academy and Next Level, we have a done-for-you program for 45 days that shows you how to fill a room for people. So for loan officers listening and you're interested in that, we would love to share that with you. Also, loan officers, make sure for our next event that you're heading to loanofficerevents.com to check out where we'll be close to you next, or what sunny place or awesome city you want to fly and come see us. So don't forget to check us out there. Janell, just to kind of share with people, maybe a little humble bragging, what was 2018? What did you close in 2018? What's 2019 looking like as that's rounding out? And, just for, we're in smack dab in the Midwest, share average dollar amounts, because, of course, when we share our volume, some people are like, well, that's 3 houses in my market.
Right. Sure. Yeah. So kind of going back to, I know in the last podcast, I kind of shared about where my business had been and where it was at now, but really when I got my license in 2008, I was kind of doing it part-time. My kids were young. And then when I decided to go to RE/MAX about 5 years ago, I decided I really wanted to either be successful or I was going to get out of real estate. So that's really when I started hitting it hard. And at that time, I was only selling about 12 houses a year when I went to RE/MAX. When I went to RE/MAX, I signed up for a program and started doing some business coaching and working by referral more. And my business in the last 5 years, I went from basically selling 12 houses a year to this past year, I'll end up at probably about 130 homes a year. And production-wise, about 28 million. Average price point around here is probably about under 200,000. My average price point is a little bit higher, but so about 130 houses closed this year, and about 28 million in production. So
tell everyone too about investing in coaching and just, what that's done for you and your career and personally as well.
Yeah. So I think that especially when you're self-employed, I think that it's impossible to know everything on your own. One thing that I've learned is that everybody has their own gifts and talents. We all do not know everything. And so I think one thing that has really helped me grow is that I've learned that I have to find people that can help me with the things that I don't know how to do. So having a coach is just having a coach, it helps me with accountability. I can talk to them about what my goals are and how I'm gonna get there. And 2, my coach helps me when there's things that I don't know how to do. She helps me. If she doesn't know how to do it, then she gets me in touch with someone who can help me figure out how to do it. So I think it's really important that we remember that we have to run our business as a business. There's a lot of people that I think are just transactional and they're just selling houses or they're just doing a mortgage or whatever. But really, if you want to be successful, you have to learn how to run your business as a business. And that's where I think coaching is a huge benefit. What you spend on coaching, you're going to get it back and 10 times that.
So I couldn't agree with everything more. Like, my personal team is going to close around 30 million and 180-ish transactions this year. And with all the people that I have the pleasure of working with, we're going to close almost 900 loans this year.
Wow.
We helped in 175 million in business.
That's awesome.
I often get a question, even though, we run a coaching platform, I've had a coach for years, not always the same coach, but it's transitioned over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a question from time to time, like, well, Sean, why do you have a coach? And what I've learned over time is that I know what I know. I know what I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I don't know. And coaches often help with that blind spot.
Absolutely. Yeah. I used to worry so much, especially as my business grew. Like, I remember thinking I could never open up my own office. And this is my first year, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot that I'm learning. But I think, one thing that I started to realize was that there's been a lot of things that I didn't know how to do that I ended up figuring out. Because we have all the resources that we need. And actually someone told that to me one time. But they said that we have all the resources we need to be as successful as we need to be or want to be. And so I think when you don't know something, there is someone out there that can help you find the answer. I reach out to people all the time. I mean, I share what I'm doing in my business, and I love people that are open and will share with me, because I think there's enough business out there that we can all be successful. So, I think the most important thing is that when you want to grow your business is that you have to continually grow and continue to learn, because we don't all know everything, and we all struggle with different things. So
yes, we do. So I want to change the topic. I want to ask you one question.
Sure.
So I'm sure your phone rings often with the amount of business that you do for loan officers. You're like,
yeah,
I want some of that business.
Yeah.
And it probably almost sounds like that sometimes.
It does.
I'm guessing those don't get very far.
Yeah.
What would you suggest if officers who are listening to this right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking to try to work with a top producing agent like yourself, or they're just trying to get in front of agents, what is like the number one or two things that you say, this is what you need to do, get in front of realtors and to actually make them refer you business?
Right. Well, for me, I feel like because I run my business where I focus on my relationships, then that's important to me too with my preferred lenders. I want to know that a lender is going to be taking care of my clients the same way that I do. So if I have someone that calls them and then they don't call them back, or they talk down to them or treat them like, I've had clients say this before, that loan officers have talked to them in a way where they feel stupid because they don't know everything about mortgages. So to me, like just even the response that I get from my clients when I do refer to people, that's really important to me. So I want to make sure that if I'm referring to someone, they're treating them the way that I would want to be treated, and how I treat my clients. And then two, I think that we're all in this business. We all want to be successful. And so it has to go both ways. So not only do I want to work with someone who treats my clients well, but I also want someone that's going to help me grow my business. And when people help me, I'm going to help them in return. So I really try to support the people that support me.
Awesome. Just treating people well and not talking down to them. It's so easy in either the real estate or mortgage side. I mean, we've done hundreds or thousands of transactions, and I mean, I'm approaching almost 2 decades in the mortgage business now.
Yeah.
And I just remember like when I bought my wife's engagement ring, and over the course of 30 or 60 days, I became a expert in the 3 C's or 5 C's and whatever else they talk about in diamonds. And I don't know any of it anymore except that he's involved. And we just have to realize that, you're going to train somebody to become an expert in mortgages.
Right.
Over the course of 30 days, 60, maybe 180 if it takes them a long time to find a house, and then they're going to sell again. Yeah.
And I think also too, like for me, you have those clients that buy, an $80,000 house, and then you have one that buys an $800,000 house or whatever. But I also notice when my loan officers, like, I want to make sure that all clients are treated the same, because that's how we focus in our, in our business and on my team, is that it doesn't matter what price point they're at. We want everyone to be treated the same, get the same kind of service, get the same experience. And so that's really important to me too, coming from loan officers as well.
Awesome. So any other parting words? What's next on the horizon? Like, you going to write some books, start doing coaching yourself? What do you have? I mean, the last 5 years have proven just amazing and epic in your growth. What's ahead?
Yeah, I think right now, this first year in my new brokerage, really, I'm going to be doing some really fun events for my clients. There have been so many things in my mind that I want to do for my clients that I haven't been able to. So right now, I'm just going to focus this year on my team, on our clients, on developing our brand. And then after this next year, we'll kind of see what happens after that. But for this first year, we're just really kind of focusing on making sure all of our clients are getting a good experience and loving on them, and making sure all of our systems are in place and running smoothly. So.
Awesome. So, hey, is there an email address or a website or something that you'd want to give out to anybody listening? So if you want to go to my website, it's homesbyjanell.com. I'd love for you to check it out. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Everybody, you can download our app. If you text the words next level to 36260, again, you can see when we're going to be coming to your neck of the woods. We got a bunch of free information on there, and many awesome podcasts that we've recorded before. Janell, thank you so much for your time. And,
thank you.
Have an awesome day.
All right, you too.